Last time on the Incorrigible Party. It's been several days since the Founders' Day bombing, and the party has reconvened to complete Zalmo's task, meeting at Rumpke's place in the Denizen, and acting on some information he received from the Goliath Gilgroy. Rumpke enchants his way into the Trinity as an initiate under the name Tim. Gaining more information on what the Trinity wants with Borlo's Orphanage, and the option of poisoning taking far too long, the party plots to blow up the Trinity's hideout to send them a message.
You know, maybe, like, before we go blowing any houses apart or lighting something on fire, maybe we could just go talk to Granny Nanny.
Yeah, she's close by. Not a bad idea.
I'm just worried there could be, I don't want to hurt any innocent people.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt anybody neither.
I'm really good at interviewing people. I get lots of information.
Do you?
I think so.
Maybe if we have to use a bomb, we blow something else up that's not gonna hurt anybody. Send them a message, scare them a bit.
What if we just ask her if she prefers Zalmo or Brick?
That is not what we were sent to do.
But we have two different things to do on opposing sides.
Well, let's talk to Granny, like Hellcrux said.
We need to get rid of Brick.
Yeah, I don't know, Opal. I don't think we want to get on Zalmo's bad side.
Yeah, but also on Brick's side, Tim's gonna be in trouble.
Brick's a bad guy, they say. Kills people.
Does Zalmo kill people?
Not that we're aware of. We've never heard of him doing anything like that. He's always been great to us.
Do you know kids from the orphanage? Did they like it there?
They've never said anything bad about it.
Well, to the orphanage.
Yeah, I don't want to let any information slip. Maybe someone else does the talking.
I don't know if I'm the right guy.
Hellcrux kind of looks toward Kylia.
Okay. Let's go.
Sometimes, people think the wrong thing about me. I can be kind of scary.
Yeah, well, let's just hope Seychadel keeps her mouth shut.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think, maybe Hellcrux, you might be the right guy.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I just think I give more information than I get.
All right, well, let's go see what kind of lady this Granny Fanny is anyway.
Yeah, flirt with her a little.
Oh, is that a good idea?
Been a really long time since I've done anything.
Look at him. You're handsome, Hellcrux.
Give us a smile. Oh, no, don't do that.
Those are nice tusks. Maybe she likes tusks.
Let's see what this is all about.
Yes, it's down this way.
Okay, if I didn't say it before, where Chip had led Tim/Rumpke to where the Trinity has their little base or their little hidey hole where they're currently hanging out, it's only a few blocks north of the orphanage itself. So it's actually quite close to, this building that they're trying to essentially take control of, right? And the Borlo Orphanage is the largest structure in the Denizen district. Or rather, it's more of a collection of surrounding buildings. As you're approaching the front of it, you can clearly see where retrofits and additions have been made to the surrounding buildings on this block, having connected them to each other essentially. It's between those 5-foot gaps, right, the divide that would normally divide the closely packed buildings. You see that essentially like connecting bridges and walkways on each floor have just been constructed between these gaps, right? Connecting them on the inside, as well as the outside. So now these gaps you can no longer walk down, right? Or pass through to the other side of the street like you normally would on one of these row house blocks. The building itself does look like it's in pretty good condition, especially compared to where you kind of just were. where there's more, the buildings look a little more dilapidated, where like nobody's upkeeping. But here, clearly somebody is in charge of upkeeping this building or this collection of buildings. The tallest section of the orphanage stands about 5 stories high. Again, one of the largest, or one of the tallest buildings in the Denizen. There's a large sign nailed above the entrance to what looks like the main building, right? That 5-foot section. It reads, Borlo Orphanage, established 452 MW3, in memoriam of the Skyquake event victims.
Sounds serious.
Yeah, why don't you each roll me a history check?
17 for Rumpke.
18 for Opal.
13 for Kylia.
15 for Hellcrook.
You all definitely have heard of this Skyquake event. The Skyquake event was a falling celestial object that devastated a portion of Storm Cape. I mean, you all know in the Celestia region itself, this region, the whole region, right, is known for attracting these falling objects. There are sections far south of the Tireless Glade where there's just a constant raining of these objects. Like, this event is as well known as it is because it's incredibly rare, like nearly like impossibly rare for an object to have fallen this far north of those areas where it's most common. And of course, for Capians, as close as it was to their city. You know, this falling object, the shock waves from it, while it was still a few miles away from what is now the city's limits, the aftermath of it creating earthquakes and fissures that ripped through the kind of northwestern section of the city itself, which predominantly is the Denizen district. Countless livestock and buildings, thousands of victims just completely swallowed up by the earth from these shock waves. This orphanage was founded for, at the time, remember, and you remember the 452 MW3, it's like 848 MW3 now, right? So it's been like centuries of this orphanage changing hands, and it was essentially founded for the victims, like the children and the orphan children that were left with nothing essentially at the time.
Is there a clear front door to this place?
Yeah, it's like a large wooden double door right below the sign hanging above it.
Okay, Hellcrook, you ready to do the talking?
Oh, I guess so.
Are we sure about this?
Nope, not at all. I'll just smile real big.
Yeah, inner peace, right? That's what you keep telling me. Inner peace.
Yeah, you're right. Just deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth.
When was the last time you brushed your teeth?
Oh, you know, now that you mention it.
Well, at the same time, he washed his hands.
Don't breathe on her, okay?
He washed his hands.
All right, here goes nothing.
So Hellcrook reaches out, raps on the door with his knuckles.
A few seconds go by, and this big door kind of swings open, and there's this tiny little child who's answered. Hello?
Hi. I was wondering if I could talk to, what was her name? Granny Nanny, I think. Yeah.
He just kind of is like looking up at you, probably, you know, even shorter than Opal, and shorter than Opal and Rumpke, this little tiny kid. It just kind of quickly nods, and then he scampers off. And you can, he's opened the doors now, you can kind of see in to immediately like this kind of long hallway. Looks like there's a number of rooms that line this hallway as it continues to the back of this building. And he kind of disappears through one of the doors. And you're waiting a minute, 2, 3, about 10 minutes. And finally through this door you see this little old woman starts to just hobble. She's like bent almost like at a right angle. Big curve to her spine. She's got a little walker. And she's like wrapped up in this big, thick-looking woolen shawl. And she just kind of step, clunk, squeak of the wheels on her walker, clunk, as she takes a step, shuffles. Another minute goes by, and she's cleared the doorway. Another minute, she's made it about a foot. So you're waiting here, just waiting, and watching her come down this hallway.
Jeez.
And she like looks up and she like gives you a wave, and she's about 20 feet. And then, 30 minutes later, she gets to the entrance of the door. And she like looks up, she gives you like this big smile, and she doesn't have a single tooth in her mouth. It's just gums.
Well, hello there. What could I do you for?
Kylie is like hiding behind Hellcruck.
You must be, Granny Nanny, is that right?
That's me. I'm Granny Nanny.
Oh, it's great to meet you. I've heard great things.
Are you looking to adopt?
Well, no, maybe not today, no.
Oh, you're not part of the Trinity, are you?
No. You know, maybe, do you mind if we step inside for a minute to just have a quick talk with you? It's about them, actually.
Oh, well, okay. Come on in.
And she'll start to like back up. You wait about another 5 minutes, and she clears the doorway for you all to come in.
I whisper to Opal. I think she was here at the fountain.
I agree. I don't know that there's flirting to be done here.
What's that? I'm a tad bit hard of hearing.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a dog, thanks.
Well, what? We don't have cats here.
You said if I was looking for a dog. Okay.
To
What?
adopt.
It was very, very rude of me, Granny.
Adopt?
I didn't introduce myself and my
kid.
friends. My name is Hellcruck. This here is Kylia, and
Still hiding behind you.
she's a little bit shy.
I'm Opal Toggle Sprocket.
Yeah, this is Opal.
I can't adopt, I'm a kid.
No.
Well, not technically.
I don't think really any of us can adopt right now, but that's Opal, and this is Rumke.
How you doing?
Well, it's so nice to meet each and every one of you. Come back to my study.
Oh, I don't know if we got the time for that. Can we just talk here?
Well, I suppose.
You see, like, she like kind of reaches down and slowly unfolds like some planks on a hinge of her walker so she can sit on this little shelf, in the middle, and she's like parks down.
Okay. Let's talk.
Oh, that's quite the little invention. I like it.
Well, thanks. One of my many children begged it up for me.
Hellcrack has some questions for you.
Yeah, so, about this Trinity gang, they seem to be a bit of troublemakers from what I know, and I heard that they're moving in more and more into the den here. What have you heard about them?
They just keep coming around and harassing some of the kids. I've talked to a few of them. They want to take the orphanage. They offer me money for the kids, and I've already spoken for.
Yeah, what do you mean are you spoken for?
Well, we have a very kind benefactor, in addition to the donations that we collect. That's what keeps the building running.
And I'll peek out around Hellcruck. The kids, are they happy with the arrangement as it currently is?
Well, I hope so. Think if any of them were unhappy, they'd tell me. But we got food for them, we got a warm place at night, clothing. There's lots of activities. We got a ping pong table.
Oh, the ones that go off to the benefactor, are they happy to go?
As far as I know, they get placed in a nice home. I heard it's a big, big castle.
It's called a castle.
Well, why are you asking me all these questions anyways? Who did you say you're with? This better not be no Trinity trick.
No, I assure you, Granny, we're not here to trick anyone. It's just, I think we'd like to get rid of the Trinity gang, get them off your doorstep, But I was hoping to just get a bit more information. See if they've been bugging you or, threatening you or anything like that. Make sure you're safe.
Zalmo sent us to help you.
Oh, Salmo, is he with you? Is he here?
She's like kind of looking back towards the door.
No?
Oh, okay, good. I mean, you must know then he is our benefactor.
Does he come by often?
No. I haven't seen him in months.
Can I do an insight as to whether she wanted to see him or was afraid he would be there?
Sure.
Yeah, Hellcrook is kind of wondering as well about that reaction, like when she said good.
8.
She has mentioned that the benefactor is very generous and has expressed that she's not interested in finding a new benefactor. So I think as far as those comments go, while she may have perked up a little at the mention of Zalmo's name or reacted more so at the mention of Zalmo's name, I think Kylia, it seems like Zalmo's actually taking care of the place, right? And
They have a thing. He takes care of
yeah,
it.
there's clearly, this, whatever this arrangement is, it seems that both entities to Kylia are fine with the status
Does
quo.
Hellcrook have a chance? Or is Zelmo?
Yeah, Hellcrook, you are kind of the one. You're the one interacting. So why don't you go ahead and you can give me an insight too.
Her heart is with Zelma.
16 for insight.
I would think you probably more so than Kylie pick up on a bit of anxiousness. When at the mention of Zalmo's name, it is clear that she. I don't know if saying she is. You feel like she's afraid of Zalmo, but obviously she's at least wary of Zalmo. Despite speaking highly of him.
Granny, you can tell us if there's been any problems with Zalmo. That's part of the reason I wanted to come here and talk to you. You seem maybe a little bit, what's the word? Bit nervous when you thought he was here just a moment ago.
Do you? Are you?
I might have imagined it. I don't know. I just you can be honest. He's nice to you, isn't he? It's a good deal you have going on.
I think the children are very well taken care of here, and it takes a lot of money to run a place this size. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of children.
That's a lot of children.
That's a lot of children.
So these Trinity guys, you said they came and, were they roughing you up or hurting the kids?
They haven't gotten physical with any that I know about. They came around flaunting a bunch of bags of gold in my face, trying to entice me.
So no threats.
Not yet.
We were sent to get rid of them, so... You had any, help you could give us on that side?
Well, I can definitely get one of the kids to show you where they're hanging out.
Pretty sure we know that already.
The other thing, Granny, I wanted to make sure that nobody else gets hurt. If things get physical, trying to get rid of these bad fellas here. Can we be confident that the kids aren't going to be hanging around nearby?
Oh, I pulled every one of my kids to stay well away from him.
Can we talk to one of the kids? One of the kids that has been contacted by the Trinity?
Sure. Let me see if I can wrangle up Sasha, and she could tell you what she knows.
Great.
Granny Nanny sits up, folds back up her seat,
dear.
and starts to move her walker down the hallway.
Oh, come on, keep up.
That should take you
Can
for
we yell for Sasha? I mean, I can yell for Sasha, right?
Well,
Hey, Sasha!
what? No, it's Manny.
I'm not looking at you when I said it. I was looking up in the air, just yelling out in here so she can come to us quicker.
Well, I suppose that works. Sasha!
and she'll start yelling.
Sasha! Sasha!
I'm not really sure what you're saying.
Sasha!
Sasha!
Hey, where's Sasha's room?
Yasha, Yasha.
Opal's thinking maybe it's a pronunciation difference, so she's really imitating the way that she says it.
We all are.
So at the very end of this hallway is like a big set of grand staircase that would lead you up there, and you kind of hear like this thumping on the floor above you, right? Like as if it's like someone running, right? Footfalls as Granny is still slowly continuing down this hallway until finally you see like that same little kid that answered the door kind of appears at the top of the stairwell, and next to him is an older girl. I mean, she looks maybe a few years younger than Kaelia. She comes down the stairs. Are you calling for me, Nanny? Oh, hi everybody.
This is Sasha. Sasha,
Sasha.
tell these fine people what you know about the Trinity.
Sasha will walk up the 40 feet from the bottom of the stairs to you all. Again, you haven't made it very far following Granny Nanny. I'm sure I've talked to some of the members a couple times. They just come up to me on the street, when I'm out kind of wandering around, and it sounds like they just want to recruit some of the kids.
Do you know what they want the kids to do?
I'm not sure. I mean, they just want us to at least join up with them. Apparently there's some like initiation process or something. She looks at Granny. I've been steering clear of them as much as I can, but they just keep walking up to us, keep harassing us.
I will go up to Sasha and kind of pull her aside a little bit away from Granny Nanny. Any of the kids seem interested in joining up?
She looks over to Nanny, right? And Nanny's turned her attention back to Hellcrux. She sat back down on the walker.
Look at you, you're skin and bones. Let's get something to eat, shall we? Get something in that stomach.
And she's you're literally nannying the three of you, right? Sasha responds to you, Kaelia. Yeah, to be honest, there's a few of the older kids. They make a pretty enticing offer. I mean, they say they can give us a lot more than we have here. Granny Nanny is great. I mean, she treats us, she gives us what we can, but I mean, they'd say they can give us more.
And what about Zalmo?
Yeah, there's definitely kids that want to go and live in the castle. Everyone talks about the castle.
What do you know about the castle?
I mean, just what the other kids say, that it's this big, lavish place up on a hill, overlooks the whole city.
Partly correct. Anyway, so the Trinity, actually, Zalmo has sent us here to scare them off because he doesn't want any of you to go with them because of all he's put in to you here. So we need to get rid of them and not have any of the kids near them when we do it. Whatever it is we're going to do, we're not clear on that yet, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can make sure none of the younger kids are around. I mean, some of the older kids, we tend to just do what we want, but I'll let everybody know to stay away. Hey, you think you can put in a good word with Zalmo for me? I would love to go to the castle.
Definitely.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Well, what's it
Back
like?
to the Trinity, they're bad people, They are really bad people, and they will hurt the kids. So the kids really need to stay away from them. Zalmo will take care of the kids. He really cares about us. The castle is about like this, really. It's on a hill. There's not really any other buildings close by. So it's got that.
Wow.
There's lots of kids there as well, though, and we all live together, and Zalmo takes care of us.
Wow. Okay, look, I'll tell all the kids, but just next person that gets picked for the castle, you just make sure I'm the one, yeah?
I can mention you, yeah.
Great.
we potentially could be roommates.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the Trinity is bad, and Zelma wants them gone.
Trinity bad, Zelmo good. Got it.
Okay, great. We may be blowing them up, so just stay away, okay?
Your eyes like go wide. Wow. Do you always get to blow stuff up at the castle?
No, I never have before, and I'm so excited.
Oh, I want to see it. Can I come?
Oh, probably better that nobody else knows, so don't tell anybody that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, because it might not happen. We might not get to do it because the others are trying to talk us out of it, so...
Oh, don't let them do that.
I know, right?
Sasha, why don't you get these 5 people some of that famous mush meat? I got no teeth, you see, so everything's got to be mushed up a little bit. But the mush meat is great.
Granny, there's 4, not 5 people.
Stay for lunch. It doesn't matter how many of you are.
Okay, let's have some mush meat.
You know, we do have a meeting with Big Bob.
Oh, yeah. We need to go find Big Bob.
Time's a ticking, right?
Oh, it's ticking.
We don't want to let Chip get in any trouble.
We don't care about Chip.
Yeah, he vouched for me. He's a good guy so far.
Well, yeah, maybe you've got a part, Rumkey. Granny, it's been very nice talking to you, and we appreciate the offer for some food, but we probably shouldn't be running late for our meeting. But thank you for inviting us in. We really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Boy, it was nice to see some new faces around here.
Sounds good. Rain check on the meal.
If you ever want to, get some teeth, I know some tinkerers who could hook you up a little bit.
They're just more trouble than they work. You gotta brush them and floss them, and it's so much better just mushing everything up.
Okay.
And remember, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of children if you want to adopt. Always looking for a good home. There's a very strenuous vetting process, though. You have to pass a background check and everything.
Right.
I like to mind my P's and Q's, but I might not pass the background check, Granny, just to be honest with you.
But peas are really good mushed up. Put some mushed up peas in the mush meat.
I was like, what are
It's
peas and
great.
Well, Hellcrack, couldn't you use some children up at the stables?
Well, that's not a bad idea. I'm not cut out to be a dad,
You work up at the Lee Hand space?
Yes, I do. Leanne's been I guess, sort of like a father to me, maybe. Not really, but kind of. It's been good. It's good. Your hard work and fresh air. Well, the air's always not so fresh. It kind of smells real bad when you're mucking the stables, but it's good hard work.
You know, I saw in the paper.
And she kind of pulls out of a little basket in her cart a big magnifying glass, essentially, that she would use to read with.
I read in the paper that you're looking for some carriage drivers. Now, some of the older kids are about to age out. We're going to have to give them the boot. So, put in a good word with Rehan, would you?
Well, Leanne really appreciates my opinion and my input, so I'll do that, Granny. I'll stay in touch.
Great. And look, I'll vote for each one of these kids. If you need me to speak to this Lehan, then I'll give him a right. I'll talk his ear off about these kids. They're great.
I trust you, Granny. I feel like you give them a good home, and I bet these kids are great.
You know, I may not like my own teeth. I'm glad they're gone, but boy, you got a good set of choppers on you.
Oh, thanks for noticing. They come from my mom's side of the family.
Well, if you're not staying for lunch, I'll have to ask you to get the out. It's about time for a nap.
I like you, Granny.
Lunch nap.
All right, let's head out. You don't need to show us to the door. We know the way.
No, I insist.
No, I walk out. Opal marches. Let's go.
Sasha, remember what we said.
And she'll like nod and give you a wave as you leave the Borlo Orphanage.
Okay, we get out in the street.
Boy, what a nice old lady.
See, we have to protect them from the Trinity.
I don't know, maybe I should have been the interviewer. That all took way too long.
Well, she was walking as fast as she could, Opal.
You talk slow.
Oh.
Also, I think prison and like meditating has not made you the best conversationalist.
Well, the horses like me.
We like you too, Hellcruck.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like you. I really don't want to use a bomb, guys.
Well, you got any other suggestions? These guys aren't gonna go away, right?
We'll just
Yeah,
make
but-
sure nobody gets hurt. We just want to blow up their building. Send a message. I mean, we can make it a little bomb. We don't have to blow up the whole building.
Look, I get the impression here this brick guy is being nice right now and offering her cash. But if she ain't gonna take it, he ain't gonna take that as an answer, right? He's gonna do something.
Things are gonna get ugly.
I just feel like... Yeah.
I don't like the idea of the Trinity gang messing around with Granny and those kids. Doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, if we do our homework, we look around, make sure the bomb's not too big.
Just a small one.
Yeah, it's a small one, real small.
Just
Opal
to
shakes her head.
scare you off, bomb.
Granny's gonna poop herself.
I don't think she'll hear it, to be honest.
And we told Sasha to keep the other kids away, so they all will be safe.
Yeah, because kids always listen to what adults say.
Well,
Totally.
Sasha is telling the other kids, and she's a kid, so the kid will listen to the kids.
You might have a point.
That tracks. Hey, where's this big Bob guy at? We gonna have to go get up to Lehan's and get a ride so we can make some time.
No, he hangs out by the temples in the burrow. He should be fairly easy to find.
How long would that take us to walk?
It's right south of
So,
us.
on our map in World Anvil, each of those squares is 200 feet. So, basically, every 4 squares is like 3 minutes of walking on the main, on a major or a minor road. So, to get to from where you are, take the roads down to, even if you had to go as far south as the Borough District, like 20 minutes, like the cities in the majority of the districts are very walkable quite quickly. But remember, there is a shortage of carriages, though. Or at least it was reported in the Storm's Herald, a shortage in carriage services. Also, that is obviously something that Hellcruck would know, as due to the destruction and some loss of many of the drivers, they're in basically a rebuilding phase. So carriage services are actually suspended for the foreseeable future until more hires and more wagons and carriages are repaired and or rebuilt.
And honestly, smaller's not in any shape to be reproducing.
I was gonna say, but Hellcruck's a VIP, right? If he wants a carriage, he gets a carriage.
Okay, let's get going. Let's start walking down the roads towards the borough.
So the Denizen District is immediately north of the Borough District. They are only separated by the High Medlin Roadway, which is, again, one of the major roads that lead into and out of the city. And you can navigate right down through the Denizen District. Now, obviously, so walking through the Denizen certainly eats up more time than some of the other districts where you can find one of these minor roads that are like wide enough for carriage and wagon travel. Again, I had previously mentioned the Denizen. The majority, other than the slanted slipway, like there's just, it's so densely packed that there isn't room to take a carriage ride outside of that main road that cuts through it, right? So the Denizen, you're always going to be on foot. So maybe it takes you a little extra time to get to the Medlin roadway. But once you're there, You can go any number of ways. So I don't think Kaelia would know exactly which one of the temples, but in the borough, you all having lived here, like, you know these things, right? But the borough, it was originally this secluded landscape of like crags and rocky hills when the city was in its founding years, right? Founding centuries. The borough was quickly co-opted by the Masons' Assembly as a mining site. The smallest of these rocky outcroppings, they were like mined down and chiseled down and flattened out. Their materials harvested. This had the benefit of quick access to many stronger building materials for the city, and in just creating open and usable space for construction and expansion. The first to win the right to claim this extra space at the time were people associated with the temples of worship. The three main deities that are worshipped in Stormcape are Malar, Timora, and Lathander. Each of them has their own very, very large temple for their respective followers to congregate and worship in. In Stormcape and within the borough itself, like, all forms of worship are welcome. Within the borough, like many smaller deities, and I mean smaller as in like the terms of worshippers among the populace of the city, so not necessarily like lesser power gods or beings or whatever, but just as a percentage based of like of worship, these smaller worship deities, they all can have their own temple, and you can find a temple for most of the pantheon, right, within the city. And usually they're found like along the borough trail within the borough district. In current day, there's only two of these like crags and mountain. Mountain is like, they're not mountain sized, but they're more like hills. But two of them remain within the borough still. And rather than being flattened, those two sites were kind of turned into more of a traditional mining area. One that serves as the city's dump, called the Depository, and the other is the Stoneworks, which is the city's singular source of alabaster stone, which is one of Stormcape's major exports. And, you know, of course, other like just stone and other minerals that are used in building and trading. So that's kind of an overview of the borough. Again, information that you all have, having lived in the city. So you eventually kind of, you can, I don't know how you want to do this, if you want to kind of circumnavigate the Devotion Diamante, which is kind of this middle section in between the three temples. They kind of form this semicircle south of the High Medlin roadway where they're situated. So you can kind of like wander around there looking for Big Bob if you'd like, unless there's some other kind of circuitous route that you'd like to take or be more thorough in other areas of the city.
What if we want to just yell his name?
Kaelia would lead us first to the first temple we get to. Kaelia lead us to the first temple that we get to and look around for anybody that looks like a beggar or an urchin or somebody just kind of panhandling.
Okay, I would say you're probably closest to the Temple of Lathander as you're coming south from Borlo Orphanage. And yeah, here you are keeping an eye out, and like there are for sure the odd beggar around, right? And as you're continuing to search, you're kind of moving counterclockwise fashion, right, from the Temple of Lathander as you're moving down Lathander Lane down to Borough Trail West, which kind of runs adjacent to many of the Devotion Diamante in the center. And you get to around the Temple of Timora, which is the southernmost temple and kind of at the southern edge of the borough district. Again, keeping an eye out for beggars, and in this counterclockwise fashion, you found Kaelia. You like immediately recognize Big Bob. He's again around the Temple of Timora. He's actually down just at kind of the second Timora Street, which is even further south from the temple, and it connects to the major road of the Lower Medlin roadway. So you spot Big Bob, and he is kind of just like sit cross-legged, again off to the side of like the second Timora Street, right? He's got like a cup that he's jingling. He's like wrapped up in a threadbare blanket. He has kind of like up and over his head like a hood, right? One arm outside of this blanket, shaking this cup around, basically begging, right? And you definitely see like a few people passing by. A number of them seem like they're coming and going from the temple itself, right? They're dropping a few like copper or silver coins into his cup and that kind of thing. So there's a jingle from his cup that you can hear, right, as he's he gives it a few shakes. There's definitely some. He's collected some money.
Wait for us over there. We'll get Bob's attention.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
And we'll walk up to Bob and we'll kind of, as we walk by him, kick his foot twice and then keep walking.
You said Big Bob wasn't really a fan of yours, right?
We haven't really, he doesn't hate me. He doesn't hate us, but we don't really get along.
Okay, gotcha. So then you kind of go back, you meet back up with the others then after you've done this, give him this little signal. And then he just kind of sits there for like another minute or two, right, before he starts to like pack up his stuff. He kind of pulls the blanket off of him, right, and folds it up. Having, noted where you went after you gave him this signal, he will kind of start navigating through the crowd. He doesn't make a direct beeline to you, right? But he will eventually get over to the four of you. Kylia?
Bob, we've been sent by Zelmo to do something and we may need your help.
What are you doing?
We are, getting rid of the Trinity Gang.
Well, no, we're just getting them out of the denizen. We don't need to kill them.
That's what we meant. We meant
Yeah.
getting rid of them out of the denizen and away from the orphanage and saving the children.
Saving Granny.
Well, that's good. I make way more up in the denizen.
Yeah, so we've heard that you like to make things explode, and we thought maybe you could help us.
It's almost like surprise. Who told you that?
It's just been said around.
He sighs. I might be able to help you.
How many fingers does he have? Opal's looking.
He's got them all.
Is he a good bomb maker? All right. Passes the first test.
What do you have to barter?
To barter? You won't just help us? It's for Zalmo.
I gotta get something.
We did find a neat dagger.
What are you looking for?
I gotta bring something back to Zelmo. I was gonna give him this.
But we're doing this for Zelmo.
Give him what? What was he gonna give him?
After he had taken his blanket, you can see he's got like a little like sling bag, right? It just has like a hand on his bag, as if he has something inside of it.
But yeah, you could still give that to Zelmo. We just need your aid for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if these guys take over the den, you can't get any things there anymore.
When are you expected back?
I mean, later tonight.
We got plenty of time.
Kylia will tell Zelmo that you helped us. That should be payment enough.
And we have some coin. We have some coin we can put in your cup.
Yeah, Zelmo's gonna pay us.
Shush.
He holds his
Opal.
cup out to you.
Rumpke, give him a little bit.
I'm broke. I spent all my money already.
Hellcrook?
All right. It's for a good cause anyway. I mean, probably just help us out of the goodness of your heart there. But here you go.
So Hellcrook drops 4 silver coins into his cup.
Kylie will peer into the cup. Hellcrook, you can give him a little more than that. He's really going out of his way to help us here. We think you can give him a little bit more.
All right.
I want to say something, but I don't want to upset Kylia further. But Opal's like thinking, why couldn't we just offer him some of the cut? Like, if he's really gonna help us.
Because it's dog eat dog world in the castle. And the fact that we're getting paid should not be known by anybody.
And they don't like each other that much anyway.
All right. It drives a hard bargain.
Hellcrook drops another 3 silver in for a total of 7.
This whole time, like looking in as you're dropping it, like that's double what was it. Like it's mostly copper pieces, right? Like pennies in his cup, right? And he's like, his eyes are getting wide. Wow,
Yeah, Bob, that's good, right? Yeah.
that's great. He reaches into his sling bag, and he pulls out like this little pouch, and he hands it to Kylia. I found this. Stole it. Up at the stoneworks. It's what they use when they're mining.
Oh, really? Do you know how to use it?
You just light it on fire.
Could Opal take a look at it? As a tinker, sorta.
It's in Kylia's hand, so if Kylia wants to give it to you.
Can I look at it?
We'll hold it out for you to look.
And I'll just do like the little tinker's look at it. Does it all add up, make sense, look legit?
What is it?
It is a little pouch, and there's like a it's cinched up with a rope, and it looks like it has another bit of like wick, like almost like a wick, right, coming out of the top of it. Like looks like it would be a fuse or something. So, Opal, what do you want? Are you gonna like uncinch the bag to look inside of it? What? Because it doesn't, holding it in your hand, it doesn't look like there's anything mechanical to do with it.
Would I know if it's safe to look inside?
Probably no, you wouldn't. But Big Ball's been handling it fine and giving it to you, right?
Yeah, I have tiny little hands. I'm gonna like put my fingers in the opening and kind of uncinch slowly and kind of look inside with my little magnifying goggle on. See if I can see the inner workings.
Okay, give me a check. What kind of check do you want to do here? I can make it just investigation, but if you want to like apply some of your tools, like do you have like an alchemist kit or something?
That is my highest skill. I got a +5 to investigation. So don't want to persuade you.
So you do have an alchemist kit, right?
I have an alchemist kit. Yep. And tinker's tools. I don't know. I don't think jewelers or thieves or brewers stuff would.
No, the being proficient with the alchemist kit definitely applies here. So go ahead and roll me. You can roll me an investigation with advantage.
Yeah, 18's highest.
So yeah, you kind of like uncinch it, and like Big Bob almost like cringes a little as you're doing like takes like half a step back instinctively.
Kylie will as well.
Like this pouch itself probably weighs about like a third of a pound probably, and inside it looks like there's you identify sulfur, saltpeter, and a third substance in kind of very small quantities inside of this mixture that you're not sure what it is.
Would Rumpke know, being part of the Masons, that rock gets blown up and then shipped over for quarrying, and what this is?
So, Rumpke, in your rise before your fall in the Masons Assembly, were you predominantly a builder? Like, what kind of what would have been your entry level? Because the Stoneworks, again, is owned and operated by the Masons Assembly. And as I had described before, it serves as it's the only like intracity mining site, right? And they kind of get away with the extra noise, and sometimes like plumes of dust and smoke can like litter across the boroughs right from operations here. But they get away with it because of this export that they get from it, that it creates a lot of wealth for the Masons Assembly and for the city. So it's like this necessity of having it still within the city. So would you have been like a miner in the Stoneworks when you first got picked up by the Dunlins?
No. When I started with the Dunlins, I would be like carving block, right, for buildings. The simplest of forms. But then sort of as I take to it pretty well, as being a dwarf and not remembering any of my skills from before, I started to do more intricate things before I got kicked out. But I've never been into mining.
Like, everybody knows what the Stoneworks is, right? Outside of having like detailed knowledge that like the foremans of the mine itself would have, as far as like the mapping of its tunnels and stuff, like the average Capian can really only speculate on like the scope and depth of the tunnels and mine shafts. Some say you could drop a stone from the top of the longest elevator, come back the next day, and still be waiting for it to hit the bottom, right? Like, it's just rumors abound about this place. Others swear that they can feel like vibrations in the ground as far away as the docks in Stormcape Bay, as if they were like tunneling and blasting right under the storage system districts where, the predominant of imports and exports are storage. So, but yes, you definitely know like this like blasting powder is what this is. Definitely they utilize this all the time in the Stoneworks for sure.
When I was at the bar and listening to the guys talking from parts of the quarry and the mines, would I have heard anything like, hey, we blasted this thing with a pound or 2 pounds of the stuff, and it did, to get an idea of how big of explosion this thing is gonna make.
Because Opal would say like,
Hey, Rumpke, this looks legit, eh?
like prop it open for him to take a little look.
I sort of look at it, sniff it a little bit. No guys have been working with this stuff. I've never touched it myself.
Yeah, you definitely would have some concept of like the amount that are daily used. And yes, you're right, it is like pounds. And in some areas it would be like a keg of this stuff, right? You've definitely overheard people saying how volatile this stuff is. any bit of a spark, when it's combined en masse, definitely would ignite it immediately, right? Like it explodes very, very easily. You also know that in smaller quantities, essentially, basically smaller than what you would have in this bag, like if you were to lay it out on a trail, right, and had any amount of this assembled ball quantity less than like this third of a pound or half a pound, rather than explode, it's like as if the composition or the amount of material isn't enough to actually cause this exothermic explosion, right? It more like would fizzle and spark like a sparkler, right? So in very small, minute quantities, it's essentially harmless. But the second it's almost like there's this threshold that you would hit, right? And the more you have, of course, the larger impact you're going to get. So you could easily guesstimate the damage that this little pouch would be. And like they would probably routinely strap like 5 or more, or 6, 7, 8 of these little pouches like together, a pound, 2 pound, like up to 5 pound payload essentially, to really blow out large sections of rock.
So you think if I took this thing and we lit it and threw it up to the 3rd floor of the building, it would blow the wall out or bust the windows?
Yeah, I'll give it to you in the mechanics. Let me just give you the actual mechanics of this. So if you were to light this and throw it, like as an action, you could use the action to ignite and the fuse and then throw it up to 120 feet, obviously utilizing a free item interaction to actually light it if you have a flame source, right? Any creature within 5 feet of the exploding pouch would make a dexterity saving throw, and it would deal 2d4 bludgeoning and 2d4 fire. And if you had more bundles of it strapped together, for every additional bundle wrapped together to time the fuse to blow up all at once, you would add a d4 to both fire and bludgeoning damage, and increase the radius too. So yeah, with this little payload, like this is the smallest payload you could get. You could definitely like blow out a window, cause some serious damage to a wooden structure, which you've seen the inside of where the Trinity is staying. It's already kind of run down. They've clearly made patches in many areas of the walls. Like, it's not a strong structure. It's all made of wood. So definitely this could do some damage.
Well, it'll huff and puff and blow the house down.
That's right.
What you're saying. So it can do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to like level substantial structure.
Not unless you want to get more of it.
I think this is enough to send a message.
It's perfect.
How are they gonna know the message is from us?
I got an idea. I go back, go talk to him, say I talked to Granny, and I found out that there's these other people that are trying to kick the Trinity gang out, and they're gonna get them. And at the same time, you guys throw this up there, while I'm in the room, of course, and blow out the window. They won't suspect me, and I'll set the fear of God into them.
Oh, that's pretty smart, actually, Runky. Now, Big Bob, you can keep this quiet, right? I think it goes without saying that Zalmo's not going to want anybody to know about this.
Just tell Zalmo that I gave this to you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we will.
We'll definitely put in a good word.
I don't want anyone to get hurt. And also, I want to know how to make one of these myself. So I'm gonna study it right now. Okay.
And Opal starts like focusing.
All right, why don't you give me an Arcana check, please?
Hey, put that magnifying glass away.
That was terrible. My Arcana was 8. With a +5.
So as you kind of examine further, like you can detect that there has been some kind of arcane process applied to, like, in addition to this mixture of materials. Like, that it's very clear there these types of like you do this all the time. You need a very specific amount of ingredient. Like, you're following a recipe essentially when you're making this. It's like X amount of parts to Y to Z amount of parts, right? Of these 3 substances. Again, a third substance that you can't quite identify. But like somewhere there's a very specific formula of how to mix these 3 substances in addition to whatever this additional arcane process is.
Okay. It might take longer to figure out, but...
Bob, you think you can get another one of these?
No, one's enough. No one's enough.
We meant for you to be able to study it, because we're going to use this one.
It's okay. I know where it came from.
I can maybe get back in there. I can show you how I got in, too.
Maybe show us how you got in, but let's,
might be handy later. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not get in trouble right this second.
I'm not sure I can really afford to be paying for many more of these anymore. So
We're all good. Let's go figure out this plan of ours. Thanks, Bob. Kylie start walking away.
Yeah, see you, Bob.
Bye, Robert.
No, Bob.
Robert.
Big Bob.
Thanks for the help, Big Bob. And like I said, keep it quiet, okay?
How big is Bob?
I mean, not very big. Like,
Average size.
Yeah, he's like a normal-
My
He's
size.
just bigger than little Bob.
yeah,
He's
exactly.
very
He
average.
went with average Bob, but it didn't have a zing.
He needs the alliteration.
Bob.
So he'll like unfurl his blanket again and throw it back on himself and like go back to kind of wandering down and shaking his cup and begging essentially.
Got a question. Do we have knowledge of a gangster-like boss in the city, or somebody that if we were to mention the name to the Trinity, they would sort of be,
Like the third party.
like a thug, right? Or some kind of a name that might...
Like you mean another member of the Trinity or like a rival gang?
Somebody would say, like, Al Capone's, said to stay out of this area, right? And we mention the name.
Yes. Someone other than Zalmo.
That may be in a whole different district.
You definitely all know that there is another kind of gang, and it's more of a band of thieves. They call themselves the Port Rats. They're predominantly made up of kind of actually similar to like the types of people, the Rumpkeys. How Rumpke, who you were named after, who's always named you after Rumpke. Those types of people, like people that don't have any connection to anybody, they come in on the boats. Those are often the types of people that the Port Rats recruit. And essentially they control the ports basically. Like you all know at least that. As far as leaders specifically, nobody that infamous. Like you don't even know who is the head of the Trinity, right?
What about somebody in the guards?
You know Captain Drake Lakely, he's the captain of the entire guard force.
Would that be somebody that if we feel that we mentioned that to the Trinity, that would something they would worry about, or you think they would just go, I don't care about him, that kind of thing?
Why don't you roll me an insight?
What about Sterling, if I mentioned that name?
Insight 23.
I would say that the reputation that Captain Drake Lakely has is being like very brutal, often very petty, and essentially to be drawn under his ire is not a good thing for anybody. Kylia, you can try to drop the name Sterling. You don't have any information about him other than the little bit that Zalma might have spoken to you about. So you can give me an insight as well.
11.
So yeah, I don't know that you have enough information to rely on name dropping Sterling. There is nothing stopping you from trying to bluff about this person being way more than what you know they are to be, though, right?
Hey, so what do you guys think? I go back, talk like Tim, tell him this, you blow something up, maybe you'll scare him. I'll tell him Drake Lakely's on the case, and they're going to drive him back out to the Quarlers.
So when Drake Lakely catches word that he's pursued the Trinity...
Most likely he is anyway, right?
Yeah, and it's not like the Trinity's going to go ask him.
Okay.
Word does get around.
Probably should be after the Trinity if he isn't.
We're gonna get caught in one of these lies. We just need to pick which lies we tell.
I'm just thinking if we lie and they go away, no harm, no foul. We get away with the whole thing.
If we get away...
I like the idea, but maybe is there anybody else? I don't know.
Are you, gonna yell his name while you throw it? The Drake Lakely rules! And,
No. He's...
No.
I don't get...
Drake Lakely sends his regards. Boom!
And you're sure we won't hit you with the bomb? Oh my gosh.
Well, the bomb's not that big, and you throw it up there, it's probably going to blow the wind out and stuff. I'm going to make sure I'm standing way back.
Have you seen Hellcrook throw anything? Because I haven't, but he doesn't look athletic.
I've seen him shovel stuff.
Yeah, I'm more nimble than you might think.
You can toss around manure, so I should trust you with a bomb.
That's a skill that transfers to more things than you'd imagine.
Okay, so I'll remind you all of kind of the street that the Trinity is holed up in, right? You all, of course, watched Rumpke go into this building. You know exactly what the building is. You know exactly what's surrounding it. On either side of this 3-story building in which the Trinities have holed up themselves, there are 2 dilapidated-looking 2-story buildings. So if you needed to get something to the 3rd story specifically, there are other structures immediately around it that would get you closer to the 3rd story, right?
He doesn't have to Hail Mary. He can.
No, you don't have to be
closer.
on the street level if you don't want to throw it to the 3rd. You know what I mean? Like, you can get higher. There's definitely opportunity to gain elevation before you execute whatever plan you're going to go ahead with.
I think we ought to do this at night. I hope he's there. Maybe I go back and find Chip.
Rumpke, maybe we brainstorm a little bit about someone else's name. We can kind of stick to this.
Yeah, I'm up for anybody, as long as it scares him.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Drake?
We think Drank is a good name.
Yeah.
Put the fear in them. And take the blame off us.
Yeah, nobody likes Drake.
It just makes me nervous. If it ever comes back to us, we're gonna be...
How would it?
Hey, it's only gonna come back to Tim.
Yeah. None of the others know who we are. It's all fine.
Granny would have to rat us out. And she doesn't know about the bomb.
Granny probably doesn't even remember we were there.
Right. Perfect. Come on, Hellcruck. It's the best we can do. I can't figure out poisons in time. But, giving him diarrhea sounds like a better option if we could just wait a little bit longer.
I don't know. You know what? He's kind of a bad guy. Maybe this could end up working out to have some more people who are out to get him and get him what's coming his way, what he deserves. I don't know. If it ever came back to us, it'd be bad. Real bad.
Sounds good. So it's settled. Drake Lakely.
Hellcrock, my dear, you are way overthinking this. Let it go.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, hey, Seychelles.
You know I'm always here, correct?
Thanks for being quiet around Granny. Would've been weird.
Well, let's go, scout out the area. Find a good place to throw the bomb in.
Yeah, the 3 of you are gonna have to do that. I gotta go find Chip. They don't want to see me walking around with you guys.
No.
I need to change into, my stealth clothes, The ones that don't creak and groan when I take a step.
That's a very good idea.
Okay, so you essentially want to wait until the cover of night, and then you all kind of either go off and prepare, maybe get any equipment you think you might need, or essentially stay around the Trinity area and just keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can change out of my armor somewhere else.
Before nightfall, you have a few hours to basically do anything you think you get, any gear you think you might need. I don't know if Kylie, are you wearing armor? Like you always are in and around the city. Opal, you've made it clear that you're usually always in your
Always.
scale armor.
Yeah, it's leather light armor, so yeah.
It's like a walking advertisement to be like, yeah, go to Toggles and Sprockets.
I think Kylie would have stayed in the area and just kind of scouted everything out and watched the comings and goings to see who would be in the building at the time.
Rumpke, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go sort of look around, see if I can find Chip, and tell him, ask if he can set up another meeting for me tonight after dark when I'm available to let him know what's going on.
Hellcruck?
I'm also going to be kind of scouting things out. Like I've said already, I'm kind of concerned that, there's no potential casualties or innocent bystanders to get hurt, but also if we're going to be throwing around a Lakely name, I also want to make sure that there's no witnesses. So
Kill everybody around the area?
yeah, I'm gonna kill everyone around the area just to make sure there's
He's gonna monk them to
no
death.
witnesses.
Do I have time to go all the way to Toggles and Sprockets and back to drop my armor off, or should I just leave it somewhere in a abandoned building or something?
You guys have about 5 or 6 hours to kill before nightfall. So you have plenty of time to do whatever you think you might need to do. Drop off your armor, maybe put on something else. I don't know if do you have any other armor sets, or are you just going to go unarmored? So you can be stealthy?
I didn't think about having another armor set.
I don't know. I mean, the idea is dark clothes, in and out. Nobody's looking for you. Not really gearing up for a fight.
That's my other question is, does anybody want to try to assemble some type of disguise? If you're also concerned about things coming back to you, does anybody want to try to obfuscate their appearance at all?
I think Opal would definitely go home and try on a bunch of hats and figure out where her hair could be hidden. Because here's the thing, if that Sergeant Vepper recovers and someone can identify my pink hair anyway.
I mean, well, you know the mail carrier that you spoke to.
I know, he's gonna say that I blew up the guard.
The only thing I saw, officer, was a little girl with a fez running down the street.
Yeah, I don't think the fez would cover it up, but nice idea.
Kylia has a cloak, and she's used to skulking around, so she's just normal.
I think I'm on the same side of town. I go back to Toggles and Sprockets, leave my armor there, grab a few supplies, head back up. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, Hellcruck's definitely going to want to conceal as much of himself as possible. So like some sort of cape or something with like a hood maybe he could pull up over his head. He's a little bit paranoid of having this being traced back to him.
You can all, again, you have like this fairly significant chunk of time to survey this area, kind of hone in what you need to do, get the supplies you need, and then you can eventually, come nightfall, reconvene where you want to reconvene, like outside of the orphanage, and then from there.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
So you've now kind of you've gotten all the equipment you need, and now you've reconvened outside of Borlo Orphanage.
To know oneself is to know true strength. Oh, excuse me, I didn't see you there. Don't mind the meditations of my mind. For now we must bid farewell, but fear not. The journey continues at incorrigibleparty.com. There's also a new World Anvil page to explore the world of Senta and all its wonders. These enchanting melodies you've heard come from tabletopaudio.com and Sarastro Music. Please accept my invitation to join our Discord server, and we shall forge bonds as strong as a tall oak, and share tales that echo throughout the halls. Lastly, I humbly beseech you, like, rate, review, and spread the word of our adventures across the realms. Tell a friend, a comrade, or even a foe. And until we meet again, may your dice be blessed with fortune, and your cup filled with ale. Happy adventuring.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.